Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Dan the Movie Man. Even though there is nothing behind me on the screen, I will be reviewing the latest Sex Education season today, Sex Education Season 4. If you can't see my shirt very well, I have on my Sex Education shirt. This is the core four, or four of the best characters on this show, being Otis, Maeve, Eric, and Amy. I love these four characters. I love these four characters on this show. They're amazing. And enough of that. Time to jump in. All right, so not only will I be reviewing season 4, but I will also be talking about the entire series. So there's going to be points that I point out that are going to be from this specific season, and other points that I talk about that are going to be from other seasons of the series. So if you haven't watched season 4 yet, do not watch this video because I will get into some spoilers. So here we go. Let's dive in. I'm not going to go over everything that happened in this season because, let's face it would be too long of a video, and I just want to get the points across, the points that I liked and points that I didn't like. There were a lot of highs and lows of this season, so I'm going to talk about all those. All right. First off, negative points. There wasn't. The number one, the characters. All these new characters that they brought in this season, I wasn't a big fan of, because usually whenever Sex Education brings in new characters like they did in pretty much all the seasons except like season 1, season 2, and season 3, I really liked all the new characters that they brought in. Not this season and season 4. Pretty much all the new characters that they brought in I thought were just downright annoying, and they really got on my nerves. Like Jean's sister, I thought she really got on my nerves. The new characters, Roman, Abby, and I think her name was Aisha, they all got on my nerves. All right, now let's dive into the positive aspects. One of the parts that I really liked about this season was how they wrapped up both Adam's and Michael's storyline. I thought that whole storyline, like, Adam has just been an incredible character throughout this entire series. Like, he started out as a bully, but as the seasons went on, he progressed and, like, he became more vulnerable. He was quite, like, he is a hysterical character. I really like his character. Connor Swindell does an amazing job portraying his character, Adam. And I thought that they did a really good job with wrapping up his storyline this season. Same thing with Michael, his father, and I will say this: whoever the casting director was, I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but they deserve an award for the show, because not only did they cast one of the greatest father-son duos of all time, but everybody in the show that they casted the casting director did a phenomenal job. I'm convinced that Michael Groff and Adam Groff are actually father and son in real life. If I'm right, I'm not really sure how you pronounce the actor's name, but I think his name is Alistair Petrie, I think is how you say his name, plays Michael Groff. But onto his character. Their relationship was pretty strenuous, like, throughout his entire series, but what I really liked about in season 4 was you saw a pretty vulnerable side to Michael, which I never really saw before. And, he was really making an effort towards being a better father and being there for his son. And that moment, right before he was about to teach the class in the final episode, really, it was a really emotional moment for me, because it was, seeing them hug and seeing him admit, like, seeing him say like I love you and them hugging, I thought that was really a really good moment. On to the other thing. On to the other thing I really liked, which was Amy. I have loved Amy's character throughout this entire series. Seeing her character's arc get wrapped up was, I thought, was really nice. It was really good. I never thought in my life that Isaac would actually become an extremely likable, lovable, funny character. Like, a lot of people didn't really like him throughout this entire series, but I never really hated his character, but I didn't love him, nor did I hate him. He was a funny character, but like in season 4, it actually seems like they gave him a purpose, um, which was part. I never thought that they would add him into Amy's storyline, and her. I thought the fact like her having art, her taking that art class, I didn't think that that would ever help with her healing, help on her healing journey, with her getting sexually assaulted, but it did. And I am so happy that that she was able to like fully heal in a way, and that also Isaac was a big part of that. um Another thing I want to talk about, the thing that I really like, not just about just I'm gonna I'm gonna go off the season real quick. I just want to talk about the season in general. One of the things that I really liked about this series, a big focal point of the series, was the friendships. Otis and Eric, great. Despite the fact that Otis was an asshole pretty much this entire last season. His friendship with Eric is an amazing friendship. In season 4, the friendship that I really liked, that I didn't really, was both Viv and Jackson's friendship. Really, I really came to really like this friendship, and it shows that like that all despite all the fact that all the struggles that Jackson was going through this season, Viv was there for her, or Viv was there for him, and I found that to be just incredible. And my favorite friendship through this entire series has to be the friendship of Amy and Maeve. I loved this pairing of the actresses, Emma Mackey and Amy Lou Wood. You could tell like they brought some of their friendship off screen and really brought it on screen. They are two, like, I like, if they are ever in a if they ever do another project, I don't care what it is, another project together, I really don't care what it is, I will be there. Which brings me to my next point. The pairing between Otis and Maeve. I will say this: there's discussions out there who was a better couple, Ruby or Otis, or Maeve and Otis. To me, in my head, I really liked Maeve and Otis. Their chemistry throughout this entire series has been spot on. And, like, despite the fact that they broke up in the end, it doesn't really matter. They are one of the best couples ever. I think they're a better couple than Ted and Robin from How I Met Your Mother, JD and Elliot from Scrubs, Hopper and Joyce from Stranger Things. The list goes on. You get it. I don't want to. Bottom line is if, I mean, just like Amy Lou Wood and Emma Mackey, if I ever see Asa Butterfield and Emma Mackey together in a movie or a TV show, I will be there. I will watch it no matter what, because I can tell that their chemistry, if they ever play love interest again, boom, I'm there. I don't have to, boom, I'm there. My last point that I want to talk about has to do with the single greatest female character to ever appear on a TV show ever. I am talking about the great Maeve Wiley, the incredibly fierce Maeve Wiley, the supposedly complex female character Maeve Wiley, um, played by none other the goddess of acting Emma Mackey. You know, this was her first role. I think this was her first role ever. Um, she absolutely crushed on this role. Give her a damn Emmy for this last season because she deserves it. Um, they put her through so much through this series, and especially this last season with her getting a rejection from Mr. Malloy, which was Dan Levy's character, from her having to go home and deal with her mother's death, which, you know, and then which brings me to one of the most emotional scenes in this season, not of this series, but in this season, which was Maeve and Jean meeting. Oh, episode 7 really broke me emotionally through. Like, there were many scenes that really broke me emotionally in this episode, but this, I think one of the scenes that really did it in for me was the scene with Maeve and Jean, and I am so glad that they got a scene together. I wish that they had had more scenes together, but the fact that they just had one scene, I'm happy with that. And, you know, like how they connected and how Jean was really telling Maeve like how strong she really is, the fact that how strong she is, and it it brought me to tears. So, you know, it was um and and I'm glad the fact, and she ended up doing the right thing, which was breaking up with Otis and going back to America and standing up for herself, and like telling, and you know, standing up for herself and facing Dan Levy's character, Mr. Malloy, who I didn't think I would end up liking, but you know, after that whole conversation that they had at the end of the series, at the end of the 8th episode, it really, I'm like, okay, I didn't really like Mr. Malloy, but now he didn't end up being such a bad character. And also, like, the characters that I did enjoy were actually a part of Maeve's storyline. Ellen and Tyrone, I thought, even though they didn't get much screen time, I thought they were both great characters. They didn't really get much character development, but, you know, you had to do, I mean, wasn't really much to work with those characters, but it doesn't matter. But, and I just want to make a real quick, I just want to talk about the ending real quick. I really thought, like, I was really rooting for Maeve and Otis to be together at the end, but to me, in my head, I'm actually glad that they didn't end up together, because not only was it a bittersweet ending, but to me, in my head, it was a realistic ending. You know, because, I mean, and I think, like, the point that Lori Nunn was trying to make was, like, that your first love, like, you don't really get with your first love, like, but, you know, and also, like, one of the things that really resonated with me was whenever, like, because I really thought that, the series finale, even though it wasn't really, Maeve was definitely missed. One of the things that, like, really hit me was, like, was that I understood the more I watched it. So that Otis was having, like, it was more about, like, him trying to go learn to live without Maeve. I mean, and despite the fact that her absence was definitely felt, I understood that, the more I watched it. And, you know, her letter to him at the end, it really showed how much, like, how much he really helped her become a better person. And, you know, despite Otis being a complete asshole through this entire season, like, those were, like, like, it really just shows how great of a character he was. The fact that he helped all these people, and especially Maeve, and, you know, like their bond really stuck. Like, I really thought they had a great bond, and they will never lose that bond. And yeah, it was I, you know, I, you know, I, you know, yeah. So, and they pretty much gave all of the characters, all of the core four a happy ending. And, you know, even though I didn't really like the way that they, like, Eric's storyline, you know, even, like, like, I didn't particularly like it, but I was happy that, like, that he got a happy ending. Like, I was happy with the way that his story ended, with him becoming a priest in the end. I thought that was the right move. But they really didn't give a definitive ending to Otis. But, you know, other than that, you know, I thought this was a pretty good season. It was the weakest, I thought, out of the 4 seasons. This was the weakest. I would give this season a B, but overall, I would give this season a B, like a B, but overall, I would give this series an A minus. And I will say this: whatever Lori Nunn does next, Lori Nunn was the creator on this show. She was the head writer. She did a absolutely phenomenal job this season with writing it, with all the topics that they dealt with through all this season and throughout this entire series. Did an amazing job with it. It was, whatever the heck, I cannot wait to see what she does next. Whether if it's another series, if it's a movie, I will be there probably opening night, or if I could see it earlier, I will see it earlier. Again, and, you know, as far as cast goes, not only do these 4 characters are amazing, but everybody in this whole cast is just incredible. And I know I mentioned this earlier in the video, the casting director really deserves some recognition. But, you know, to say I'm gonna miss this show is an understatement. I absolutely love this show, and there's always, and, you know, for all of us that are diehard sex education fans like myself, all of us can at least relate to one of the core 4 characters on my shirt, whether that be Maeve, Otis, Amy, or Eric. I think I have a little bit of both Otis and Maeve in me. But, you know, we're all different. So, but, yeah, I just can't say enough great things about this series. Down the road, I'm probably going to be doing a video on my favorite moments of this series, not of my favorite episodes, but of my favorite, or I should say, memorable moments in this series. I think that would be a pretty fun video for me to shoot, and also be a pretty fun video to watch. But yeah, so yeah, that's it, guys. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.